Hi guys, what's going on? Welcome to Adam McKola TV. I am Adam. This is the Aftermath Live. We are live, and we're live if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, then welcome to the show. Anyway, thank you for tuning in on Adam McKola TV. We're here to discuss the return of 4-0 FC and Manchester United beating Norwich 4-0 thanks to goals, two of them from Marcus Rashford to take his tally to 19 for the season. One of them from Anthony Martial to take his tally to 11 for the season. And Mason Greenwood phenomenally getting his 9th goal of the season. I think he's only made 12 starts in this campaign, about 10-15 appearances from the bench. It's been absolutely phenomenal from the 18-year-old lad. A great introduction to first team football. When he would have been in the squad this season, we would have thought if we can get 5 goals out of him this campaign, that would be a good start to him. Let him help him settle his feet in. Make him feel like he belongs. But the geezer's absolutely smashed it already, basically halfway to 20 goals now. Not to say he will get 20 goals. You'll expect a dip in his performances as he gets to adjust to life in men's football. But at the moment, he doesn't look like he needs to adjust. The guy's just incredible, playing great football for Manchester United. And it's great to have him being involved with the first team as well. And I think that's one thing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does deserve credit with, is the way he's handled Mason Greenwood. He's not rushed everything. He's not forced him in and given him too much too soon. He's allowed him time to settle in. And I've been happy with that, with his development in the first team and providing goals and adding them into the mix as well. It's great to see from Mason Greenwood. What a finish it was as well. I thought the moment had gone for him to shoot as a few players seemed to converge on him, but they just kept backing off. The pass seemed to be on out wide to, I think it was Brandon Williams, but he didn't use it, took the shot right across him, the goalkeeper. It wasn't even that powerful as well. It was just great accuracy, and Tim Krul's not a bad goalkeeper, and he beat him all ends up. So great to see from Mason Greenwood. But that wasn't the only bit of action for Manchester United. That was the cherry on the icing on the cake for Manchester United, as we had already had the points wrapped up by that point. I can see you guys in the comments as well. We've got Manny, Glenn, Arpit Lee, Cockney Reds, Jacob, Gary Skeeter, Elias back in the house as well. So thank you all, you regular guys, for joining us, and of course you newcomers as well. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're hitting that like button. We're going to discuss everything. I've got my player ratings ready. Obviously, we'll look ahead towards the next couple of fixtures as well. We return to FA Cup football midweek before that trip to Anfield. So a busy week ahead for United as well, and a tough week ahead for United as well. So we can't get carried away either. And I think that's probably the main thing to take out of it, is we can't get carried away. We've still got some difficult games coming up. Yes, when you look at the face of things, like I've said before, 5th in the league, 5 points off that 4th spot, which is frustrating when you see some of the points that we've dropped. And we've dropped points, 9 or 10 times from winning positions, which is really bad as well. It shows that we can't see out a win in some games. And when you think of some of them, Everton, Aston Villa, Sheffield United, even West Ham away, Bournemouth away, Watford away. Watford are in great form, to be honest. They carried that on today with a good victory away from home against Bournemouth. But, we should be beating them teams, and that's where the frustration lies, because the season itself, when you look at it, isn't actually that bad. We're 5th. When you look at the squad, we would have said we're going to be in a battle for 4th with this squad. That's what we would have thought, and you would have thought we'd be in and around where we are now, 4th, 5th, 6th, something like that. In the cup competitions, we're still dead, and that first game against Manchester City wasn't ideal at all, but they've really clicked into gear at the moment, and we know what they can do to teams. Now, it was frustrating because it's a semi-final. The team didn't really look up for it, but when you look at the way things are going, we're still in the Europa League, still in the FA Cup. Hopefully we progress against Wolves midweek, but when you look at that, things aren't going too badly. It's just been in some of those games we should have been better, and we should have got certain things right as well. And that's obviously where I think Ole he does deserve criticism for some of those games where he's maybe got his tactics wrong, or his substitution wrong, or his game management. Seen him get criticism today for his comments about the Glazers, and I don't get that at all. It was refreshing to hear chanting had gone into the home end, and United fans were singing at Old Trafford about the Glazers. It was great to hear that, but you can't expect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to come out and speak out against them. Those are his employers at the end of the day, and he's going to want what's best for he's not going to come out against them. He's not going to get the funds he needs. He's not going to get anything. He'll get the sack sooner rather than later. And I think when you look at Sir Alex Ferguson, he defended the Glazers. Van Gaal was positively speaking about him when he was here. Obviously, since then, he's gone on to say other things about Woodward and the Glazers. Mourinho, for most of his career at United, was pretty positive in the way he spoke about them. So, the managers are going to have to. Ultimately, they are employees of those owners and of Ed Woodward, and they're not going to come out and speak bad about them. And if they do, they'll be out of the door very, very soon. So I don't get the criticism of Ollie for saying those things, but I did get, when he said we played Man City and it was a semi-final and they played their full team, that doesn't help. And I think what Ollie's kind of in the middle of at the moment is he doesn't want to be that negative influence that bringing all that negativity around the camp like Jose Mourinho did at times, but then he goes probably too far one way, the positive way sometimes, and it sounds ridiculous when he's saying these things. I don't think he thinks or feels or says those things behind closed doors. I just think he's from that kind of, we deal with our issues behind closed doors and in front of the journalists and in front of the media and in front of the cameras, we're going to act like everything's rosy. And I think Sir Alex tried to do that a lot as well. That's not to say I'm not comparing the two here at all, but I kind of get it when he's coming out and saying those things. So they're frustrating to hear. I've stopped listening to press conferences. I don't know what we expect from them anymore. What do you expect from the press conferences? You're going to get the usual spiel, and the thing with Ollie is he tries to put a positive spin on it. Jose at the end tried to put a negative spin on it. You either look absolutely crazy and psychotic or you look deluded. There is a happy in between in there, but that's the way things are at the moment. So yeah, don't expect him to come out and speak bad about the owners though. It's just not going to happen, is it? Especially when he's looking to spend money in this transfer window. So yeah, let us know what your thoughts are on that game, Manchester United against Norwich. 4-0 win for the Reds. We've got Wolves coming up. We've got Manchester City coming up as well. Sorry, not Manchester City, Liverpool coming up as well in the league. Man City will come later after that. We've got Burnley at home, I think, after the Liverpool game. So 3 tricky games coming up. We should be winning that Burnley game. Of course we should be. We should be winning the Wolves game when you're at home in these games. But I think we've played Wolves 5 or 6 times and haven't beat them since they got promoted. So they're obviously a tricky opposition for Manchester United. But these games coming up, the Liverpool game is going to be a difficult one. We all know that one. We're the only team so far to have taken points off them, which is a positive. But even just saying that makes me feel sick. That's a positive. Shows you how far we have fallen. Rashford is too sick right now, says Cockney Red. Spot on, says I'm Roberto. Hiab is in the comments simply saying United. Ollie is clever and well grounded, says Sean Collins. Ollie's been amazing, so positive. Who knows what he might be? Aggressive in the training dressing room, says Shubham. However he is in that dressing room, I definitely think he's hurting more than he lets on about the situation, and he'll be demanding a lot more as well from the players. And I expect from Ed Woodward and the Glazers as well. I don't think Fernandes is signing, but hopefully he does, says Deem is. Definitely, mate. Hopefully he will. Any news on Bruno? I'll check the Bruno stuff towards the end of the show, but we're going to get into player ratings very, very soon, so keep it locked for that as well. Keep your comments coming in, and when we start those player ratings, keep your player ratings coming in as well for who you think was man of the match. I've changed my man of the match from what we did yesterday. Now, I do apologise about the live stream that we did yesterday outside Old Trafford. The wind was absolutely horrendous, and I was just using a simple iPhone, so there was no windsock on it, there was no mic on it, nothing like that. Got absolutely done over by the wind, so probably going to rethink how we do those post-match live streams, unless they're indoors or something like that. I might just record something and upload it later, but nevertheless, I did say my man of the match yesterday was Brandon Williams. Now that's not to say I've changed my mind on his performance. I think his performance was very good, but during the game, so many things happen when you're watching the game live. You haven't got the benefit of multiple replays to keep refreshing your memory. You obviously haven't got the stats and everything in front of you. But watching the game, I forgot that it was Juan Mata's ball that gave Martial the third goal. Obviously, I knew he had the assist for the first goal. He was highly influential in the whole game. I thought he played well. I thought Matic played well. I thought Fred did okay. And I thought Brandon Williams did well. And Brandon got my man of the match. But as you can see from this, I changed it to Juan Mata. So I gave Juan Mata my man of the match. Although Rashford, Williams had the same rating. Actually, was Rashford my man of the match? Can't even remember. I may have given it to Rashford. But nevertheless, I've changed my mind and gone with Juan Mata because I thought Juan Mata was highly influential. Great to see David de Gea keeping a clean sheet as well. Andre, what did you ask, mate? Sorry if I missed your comment. Hi from Moldova. Hi, mate. Hope you're doing well. So David de Gea I gave a 7. Wan-Bissaka a 7. Lindelof a 6. Maguire a 7. Matic, Williams at 8. Matic a 7. Fred a 7. Andreas a 7. Mata at 8. Rashford at 8. Marcel a 7. Greenwood a 7. 6 apiece for James and Gomez, who didn't have much time to really make much influence on the game. Obviously, Solskjaer, when you're winning 4-0, you're going to get a positive rating. I don't think there was much he had to do in the game, tactically or changing anything around, but I do think he got his selection spot on in the day. I thought having Andreas and having Mata on there that were prodding and trying to force things and trying to make things happen. On another day, Andreas Pereira has 2 assists. I thought he created that great opportunity for Brandon Williams, who should have scored, skied it over in front of the Stretford end, and I'm sure with Brandon Williams there, dreamt of that moment so many times, and to see it fly over was a shame. It would have been a great moment for him. He's obviously already scored for United in the Premier League away at Sheffield United, helping us restart that comeback, which ultimately ended in a draw, but it was great to see from him, and his all-round performance was very good. He won the penalty, another penalty that is won. So not only is he showing a threat in terms of getting forward, getting on the end of chances, but he's also is there trying to take them as well. So, I thought he was fantastic, pushing on, winning penalties, nearly getting on the end of it for goals. He has to be our first choice left back, especially when you're thinking of, Ashley Young's looks like he's gone now. Damaso, I think, reporting that the talks are nearing closer, and it's close to Ashley Young being a Inter Milan player. When you look at that, we're then going to have Brandon Williams, Diogo Dalot, Ethan Laird, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, anyone that I've missed out that can play at fullback. Timbo can play at fullback as well. So we're going to have all those options at fullback. The only thing we're going to miss from Ashley Young is probably an experienced head, that bubbly character in the dressing room, someone that maintains the standards. We probably won't miss him on the pitch. It's off the pitch where we'll miss his influence, I think. But, we can't begrudge him a move at all. We can't begrudge him that move to Italy, and to spend the last few years of his career in a new country, in a new city, in a new culture, in a new environment. He probably always wondered, can I test myself abroad? So can't begrudge him that, and I think it's best time for all of us to move on, whether it was in the summer or now. There's still a lot of talk about Bruno Fernandes as well. I'll bring up the latest on that. I haven't been keeping up to date with everything, and I haven't been on Twitter and all that, so I don't really know what's going on. But it does look like the head coach was discussing after yesterday's game where Bruno Fernandes scored a couple of goals. Sporting Lisbon head coach Silas admits the club are making plans for Bruno Fernandes' exit in the January transfer window. I can't guarantee any of these things because I don't know. Bruno is a huge player, and all players like him have a lot of market. I don't like to think about it, but I'll be thinking of alternatives in case Bruno leaves. I hope it doesn't happen, but we have to start thinking that. And I think the title on this Aftermath Live is we still need signings, and I don't want this victory for Manchester United to make United and maybe make the owners and make Woodward and all that. I think we don't need to make signings. We still need to make signings. We're still somehow in with a chance of top 4, even though 5 points is difficult to bridge that gap, because we're so inconsistent. But if we go on a run of wins, we can still possibly get top 4. If we can get top 4 or win a trophy, whether it's the Europa League, the FA Cup, stranger things have happened in the League Cup. If we can win a trophy, then that kind of, gives United something, to say, okay, progression. We've got a trophy, or we've got Champions League football. What next? Now we need to build on that, build on the team, and hopefully build a team that can challenge. So fingers crossed for that. United publisher with a super chat saying, love you, Adam, met you on fan cams once. Love you too, mate. Thank you for getting involved as well on the show, and thank you for tuning in. Bibek says, nice work, thank you very much. How's this bloke saying Woodward can't even clean Gill's boots, says Arvind, that he couldn't clean Gill's boots. Now I do think that David Gill there's been a lot of revisionism about David Gill. David Gill missed out on a lot of deals. David Gill missed out, on a whole host of deals, and he contradicted himself in things like debt was the road to ruin and all that kind of stuff. But he was still a lot better in terms of more knowledgeable of football, in terms of having relationships within football, having a network within football. I think he was a lot better. Mark, of course you can, man. Feel free to find us at any game. Fosu Mensah party is coming, says Alex. Yes, Fosu Mensah's back. If there's still a chance for Andreas Pereira at Manchester United, surely there's still a chance for Timothy Fosu Mensah. Fingers crossed he gets that. Gedson Fernandes is going to Spurs, says Jacob. I read about that earlier on today as well. He was linked with West Ham as well, wasn't he? Because I remember David Moyes speaking about him, but it looks like maybe Spurs have gone in for him and nicked him. Maybe Christian Eriksen's off in this transfer window and they're getting a replacement for him sorted already, because if as I understand it, Gedson Fernandes is a loan with an option to buy or something like that, and if when you're looking at, if they're letting Christian Eriksen go now, they'll probably get a small fee for him, which will cover the loan of Gedson Fernandes. Do you think we'll sign both Fernandes and Maddison or Grealish? We need more than one midfielder / attacking midfield player. So hopefully, yeah, but it will look towards a post-Paul Pogba future as well. I think that obviously looks towards that if we're filling that area with that kind of quality and that kind of player. Because if you had, yes, Pogba can play in a deeper midfield, and a Pogba, Maddison and McTominay, or Fred Pogba Maddison, or something like that would obviously work. But can you see all of them playing? Interesting one, but I think Bruno Fernandes in that midfield area. We're going to let Matic go soon, so bring in Bruno Fernandes into that midfield area. 1 second, guys. My food's arrived. Yes, mate. Thank you. Nice one. Yes, lads. Right, sorry about that. I didn't think it was going to come so early, but obviously super quick delivery. I ordered it thinking, alright, this delivery's going to arrive as soon as I'm finished, and it arrives now. But nevertheless, we've got another 5 or so minutes to keep this going. I'm not sticking on Love Island tonight, guys. Don't worry about that. Talking about the signings, like I said, when you're looking at the signings, when you're looking at, they're not my undies, they're my shorts, man. When you're looking at the signings, we need a Bruno Fernandes. Matic is probably gonna go. When you're looking at, Matic leaves, then we've got Fred, McTominay, Pogba, James Garner or Dylan Levitt, knocking about. We've got 4 midfielders. To play a free, that means you'd have 1 at the end. So you'd have 1 left over if you played a free. So we need a number. Jack Grealish is someone that I admire. I think he can play on the left and the right, number 10 in the midfield. So he's a player that can play in numerous positions and would give us backup in various areas, as well as prove to be a player that could start. I want Jack Grealish at Manchester United, to be totally honest with you. This Monaco and PSG game is absolutely... Oh, it was nearly 3-3 right at the end. How is that only half-time? 3-2 to PSG at the moment. And Monaco just nearly bagged one on the 48th minute, just as it's going into half-time. We should sign Leo Dendoncker. He scored the other day, didn't he? Neil, how you doing, mate? Cool. Could Bruno play 8 and be our Pogba replacement? He could play with Pogba and he could be a replacement for Pogba as well, to be totally honest with you. But then the thing is, if just say you sign Bruno Fernandes now and you sell Pogba, we still need to sign more. Bruno Fernandes just removed Sporting from his Insta and Twitter bios. Did he definitely have it on there? Did he? I don't know. I never know with those things. Dubsy the Dubsy, nice one for getting involved. I seen someone mentioning Grime earlier. Me and Dean are doing a podcast tomorrow for Straight Up, so we're bringing that back, doing another podcast for that. Also, we're going to do a video on Adam McKola TV as well. It's not going to be live, it's going to be a pre-recorded video. If you want to get some of your questions in the comments below the video, so not in the live comments, get the questions in the comments below the video. If you want to do that, then we will of course answer some of those for you, because if you get them in the live stream comments, then when I go out of this stream, I'm not going to have them there available to me, and I can't screenshot them all now. So get them in the comments on the actual video, not the live stream chat, and me and Dean will try and answer as many as them. Glenn says Mata only 31, I reckon another season just for his experience keeping it real. Mata and Matic played very well against Norwich. Now it's only Norwich, but Matic also was an improvement when he came on against City. Now the thing with those two is they're getting, you know, they're not playing many games, so when they play, they're fresh. When they're fresh, they're fit. They've got that experience. They can use it to their advantage. It's when they're playing every week, or we're playing against teams that are really quick. You know, if we play against, you know, Liverpool with Mata and Matic, or it's too slow. It's not going to be effective. So you have to pick and choose the right games for them. When teams sit back, when teams have 2 banks of 4, Mata's amazing because he can pick those holes, he can find those gaps. If he had pace, he'd be the best player in the Premier League. Well, Mata is a fantastic footballer, but he just hasn't got that pace, and I think that's what we miss when Mata and Matic start. They're not 25 anymore. They haven't got that energy, and they haven't got that. They've never been blessed with pace anyway. Would you be happy with a Maddison, McTominay and Timbo next season midfield of that? No, I wouldn't, Colin. I wouldn't at all. Is Bruno coming? I'm not too sure. Roberto says, I'll take even Charlie Adam at the moment. I've been to China. Thank you for getting involved, brother. Van der Beek isn't coming. He said it's clear. Yeah, I don't think Van der Beek's coming at all. I don't think that one is going to happen. But guys, this has been the Aftermath Live. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're keeping it locked to Adam McKola TV, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing as well. We'll be back very soon with more content. We've got the preview coming up for you for the Wolves game. I'm going to do that Q&A style video and talk about all the latest goings on with Dean tomorrow. So make sure you get your questions below the video for that. And for now, I'm going to get out of here and munch my food. So thank you for tuning in. See you later.